Come on. There we go. And we are live here at Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 185. This morning, I got Casey with me. I got Brian, the main man, Johnson. I'm Darren here, Fatboy FadeAway Sports, with you on Sunday morning after a surprise birthday throne for yours truly. I could not believe it. I was actually stunned yesterday. So big shout out to my wife for putting all that on. Kay saw you yesterday doing that.
She wanted to keep it a hidden secret.
She did. She did excellent with it. I honestly thought this whole time it was for somebody else. So like when you actually have the surprise party for you, which you never think about getting, obviously, you're like. So I'm like, I remember I was just like, Casey was with me and my dad and Angelo, and Angelo opens the door, and I kind of like go in surprise, and I'm like, what? Like I kind of look back like for who? But then I saw Jared. Jared was the one for me when I saw him. I was like, all right, Jared's here. Like since guys, Jared and Angelo have a friendship I'm not aware about. That's really so. I know you and him do like your Ninja Turtles from the day, but I figured that. So when I saw them, that was the giveaway. But just shout out to everybody that came yesterday. To that came my wife, especially setting it up. Mom. But even Sarita, Shannon, that were hottest friends who I work with, they'd helped with it. I think even Sandy did with that. So that was really special yesterday. I appreciate everybody that took the time to come yesterday too. Like I said, Jared came from Tennessee for that. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It was a blast. It was cool to see you surprised because there was a couple times, like I said, we're in the car and we're talking and I'm not trying to hide a secret, but I'm just like, oh yeah, I played basketball today, and you're like, I thought you knew Kaya, and I was like, yeah, no, I meant that was Wednesday, and I was like, shit, I just screwed it all up. I was like, but then I was like, nah, he don't have a clue, and then I think it helped too because Dad was taking the GPS and he legitimately got lost. I think
it probably did that.
So that helped.
Ryan, you've been all around Sonoma County. We were like somewhere random behind Windsor, behind the airport out there, like out Star Road. It was a beautiful. I was like, I've lived here my whole life and never went to it. We had a thing, Brian. I was going to ask you where. I guess whoever set it up said they had to wear a team shirt or a jersey or something to the event. I'm curious what jersey what jersey would Brian or Johnson brought, because I know you have quite the collection. So I'm curious what jersey. I
probably would have had to go over to my parents and get like an A's Rich Harden jersey or something for you.
I want that Tim Couch jersey back.
I want the Tim Couch too. That was the one I thought of. Oh,
I guess I could have went Rex Grossman Bears.
Oh, that's
Brian, and then, is it the Vinny Testaverde Miami? Is that the other one?
No,
that was it was Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey, yeah, he had all the great quarterbacks.
The Great White Hopes.
The guy that destroyed equipment because the Bills lost to the Dolphins.
That's right.
Did you have more football jerseys than anything, or did you have more basketball jerseys? Because you had quite a bit of basketball jerseys.
I had a lot of basketball jerseys. I had like Ray Allen when he played for the Bucks.
Yes, that was good.
Then you have Bryant Reeves on Vancouver.
You just want to get knocked right in the face, don't you? I'll be like Roman Reigns. You'll get a punch to the head and a spear.
I remember the Timothy Duncan one. Yeah, Tim Duncan. Yeah, that was one. Yeah, so
and then when I was like a kid, I don't have it anymore. But I had it was so random, a Chris Webber Warriors jersey.
That is a random one. I had a Latrell Sprewell Warriors jersey.
I think the most random one I had was Jeff Hostetler.
Jeff, ex-Raiders. So yeah, I was thinking, what would Brian actually bring? Would he bring I'm assuming you have a Purdy jersey by now, right?
Yeah, Purdy and George Kittle.
So I would have thought you would have worn one of those. It was funny because I bet you could guess what Ryan wore, right? Ryan McGirt. What did Ryan wear, Brian? What shirt?
It's got to be Raiders.
The Raiders hat, but what was the shirt? What's his other team that you know? You lived with. What team is he watching all the time?
The Sharks.
Sharks for Cup.
Sharks for Cup. So my dad showed up with the Sharks shirt too, and they were like, it was like almost like they saw each other across the room. Oh my gosh, we have. So that was fun doing that out there. So Brian, the Purdy jersey, I love it. I mean, all the quarterbacks there. Rex Grossman, man, that's a random one. That is a good call though. But that's.
What were you thinking when you bought these jerseys? Like,
I feel like you have some other ones too. You have
And
to have.
then I have a Carson Palmer Bengals jersey.
Yes, you had some Bengals stuff back in the day. You didn't
And
go
then
Chad Johnson.
a Clinton Portis Redskins jersey too.
All right, you shut your mouth right now.
that is not their name.
They
I
had
guess I can say Commanders.
they had me and Bob had a moment. Yeah, see, they had a moment. It was a shark.
They're just
Sharks
talking the
swimming
old
together.
days. They're like, man, remember getting Nabokov, like Owen Nolan, all these guys. My favorite, Mike Ricci.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that was like those were the times. Hey, they got the number one pick this year.
Vinny Dampoose, Brad Stewart. Oh, that was a team, man.
Brian, what do you think, Adam Darwish out there? I'm sure you can guess the TV represented yesterday. I
would definitely think the Patriots.
You got a lot of thumbs downs from my dad yesterday. Got a lot of thumbs down.
So Adam actually showed up.
Adam showed up with a Patriots shirt on. Yes, he did. Lunsell was there as well. Like I said, so we had a few people. My buddy Isaac from I worked with too. He was there too. So a lot Dale and Tim, a lot of other people. But it was funny. There was a Packers sweatshirt, Brian. I don't know if you would have been happy with that. That would have. You could have had a Brett Favre moment there with it. But yeah, no, that was fun yesterday. So
it made me feel better though this morning when I was watching like NFL highlights. Just get ready for the show, kind of juice it up for this podcast, and I watched the Patriots. Juicing up, man. And some apple juice, country strong.
He didn't put a needle on it.
And I was watching the Patriots when the Dolphins did that, the three little laterals, and scored. And I was like, yes, makes you feel better.
The only thing we have over Adam recently is that we've both been bad still, but they had the play against us, the miracle, the reverse Hail Mary, whatever.
The tuck roll.
No, do you remember when Jacoby Myers throws the ball backwards?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's gotta be the dumbest thing in America. That was terrible, that one. So yeah, that was fun yesterday. Everybody kind of representing their shirts and their jersey. Greg McGurk wearing the 1997 All-Star team shirt.
From Mark West, dude. Man, bringing it back. Those were some names on there. Yeah,
Guillermo, the front one. That one cracked me up a little bit. So yeah, that was fun yesterday. The Autumn was like, it was terrible. I couldn't figure. You were being such a jerk. I was like, what are we? Because she kept leaving. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, you usually never help out like for 4 hours early and stuff. Like, are there speeches? Are there going to be speeches here? Is Paul giving a speech? That's what I said. Oh, that's who Paul showed up in the Mike Trout jersey, Brian. That's what it was. Paul, after he goes injured, Paul goes with the Mike Trout jersey as well. There, so
that was a clean Trout jersey too.
That was a clean one. It was. I mean, is anybody more injury prone than that, Mr. Trout? He goes down again with them.
Anthony Rendon.
Him and Griffey do have a lot of similarities. Trout and him in terms of, I mean, Griffey was better, but just in terms of like their kind of that career path was getting injured at a certain point there. So they have that as well. What did you guys see anything with? Did you guys see Snell's no hitter the other day?
Yeah, I did.
So after the game though, they try to pour the cooler on, and they take the lid like completely just crushes down on his head. and he's like, that's got to be the worst pour ever. He's like, come on, guys. So yeah, that was.
He's been ridiculous lately. He had the 15 strikeouts. I think it was the game before, right?
Yeah, he did have. Yeah, he
was against Colorado, I believe, and then he came back with the no hitter. I was like, damn! Like when pitchers get in a zone, I think it was 10 strikeouts in that no hitter.
Yeah, he did, and then he had 15 the one before that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
so he had 10 before that. He finally picked it up. But I was talking to Dad. I was like, I still don't. I was like, he came off a Cy Young and nobody paid him. So like, I don't know. Like this 3 starts and a no hitter actually make a difference there. Where like, Brian, was yesterday the Hall of Fame speech for NFL?
Yes, it was.
Did you Patrick Willis?
Jim Harbaugh showed up for Patrick Willis's. When he got put in the Hall of Fame.
Was Bowman there? Did they have any?
Bowman was there too. Yeah.
It's funny you think of Willis, but for me, I immediately also think of Bowman. I know Bowman wasn't. I guess like he got injured that one time. It kind of set him back a little bit in that Seattle game at the end of the year. But Bowman, I almost feel like he's not Hall of Famer, but man, those two together it's got to be one of the best duos in the last 10 years or 15 years of football. Willis though goes to the Hall of Fame. Gosh, Casey, it'd be nice to have a Hall of Fame linebacker on your favorite team.
Oh God, man, we've never had one. I think the closest, and he used to make fun of me, is Kirk Morrison.
No, it was Gregory Beaker. It was our best one.
Greg Beaker, that's true. Yeah,
he was
yeah, that is 100. And then the one with Navarro Bowman, though, that's probably one of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen. Like, it was just against Seattle on the goal line. He stopped him. I'll give him that, but it was just, it was tough to watch.
And then
one of the worst
Seattle fans throwing trash on him. I mean, that was horrible.
Seattle fans suck. That's why. Darn Ichiro. That's what happened. I still burnt more. Yeah. So they had that one. Did you listen to the speech? I got to listen back to it.
I haven't heard it yet. No. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're busy, but
yeah, we were a little bit. Hey, here's some of his plays here. What we had.
Shotgun snap to Manning. He's got time. He throws the middle. Caught. And a big stick. A huge stick by Patrick Willis, who says not there to Travis Beckham.
And then you get a shot across the middle of the field. Patrick Willis.
Oh, that's a stick.
Let's go. Bend but don't break, baby.
Takes the snap. Standing in. Going to be pressure from the right. Breaks away. No, he doesn't. He's sacked.
Let's go.
Patrick
That was the
Willis
NFC Championship game,
back
right?
to the 15-yard line. A loss of 10. 3rd and 3 at the San Francisco 46 with 32 seconds left in a tie game. Manning takes the snap. Standing it. Throws a deep ball off the middle. It's tipped. It's juggled. It's incomplete.
Man, he was so good.
Such a beast, man. He was so fast.
With that hit, man.
So fast. God.
And he was out of Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, Ole Miss. Yeah.
I think the funniest play of his was when he had the broken arm, he had the cast, and there's a fumble when he was trying to pick it up, and then he wasn't picking up the ball.
Could you imagine just you guys like going across the middle and just getting hit like that? God.
Could you imagine to play like Brian?
And then having to do it the next 59 minutes? Like, God damn, man.
Yeah, no, you would not want to get hit like that. That would not be the way you want to. That would not be on my radar as a way to do it. Who's the most overrated team this year, Brian, going into the NFL?
Niners.
I'm going to go the Chicago Bears.
The Bears? Why do you think, Casey, you really think it is the Niners this year, legitimately, or are you just?
Nah, I'm just giving Brian shit.
So they got how many? They got 11 they're projected to get 11.5 wins, Brian. That seems like they could easily do that.
Yeah.
On Vegas, Case 11.5 over or under.
I would say under.
So they finish 11 wins there, Brian. Last night on your show, TMV, you had them going, I believe, 17-1, right?
No, I said 50-2.
15-2. So let's be fair about that. 2 losses. One to the Cowboys. I don't know who the other one you had. I'm losing to, but 15-2. So I say Brian has the over there. That's for sure. Casey, the over for the Raiders is 6.5.
Oh, I'm taking over for sure.
Over under.
Way below. You got Minshew. Come on, man. You're not going nowhere.
Oh, man. Yeah. What do you think? I already took you on the bet last week. I think it was. I'm taking the over. The Niners are definitely losing.
So
more.
They'll probably have
the Raiders are.
Come
on, man. 6.5. That's pathetic.
They can get 7. They won 7 last year. Can they get 7?
I think they're making the playoffs probably.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah.
We're getting 7?
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
like
come
it.
on. I think they're probably getting, like I said, they'll probably get 11 wins this year. Niners will have 10.
Their odds to win the AFC West is.
So I guess the Niners are overrated now that I think about it. Yeah, they'll probably get 10 wins actually.
No, just 10 wins.
They'll be lucky to make the playoffs. Fortunate. Brian will have to return that Brock Purdy jersey.
What's the bet?
We're gonna have to return to this at the end of the year because you stated that the Raiders would have more wins than the Niners.
I said it again.
I know what you've been smoking, Casey.
Now, do you mean more wins or beat the bet over under?
Oh no, no, they're gonna have more wins. I mean,
man, if Big Gordon could pull that off, I'd be very impressed.
Gordon, keep calling him Gordon.
I know, I like kind of Gordon. Hey, Brian, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Just real quick, is it from the year 2000? How many MVPs can you name? All right, I know it's quick on you, but I just want you to think about it. How many MVPs can you name? Casey, you guys can get on
from football.
From football, MVPs. How many can you get? Ready?
From where? What era?
All 2000. Time? From 2000 on.
2000 on.
So after Kurt Warner wanted to 99, American Hero. Anyway,
it's a great movie.
I saw bits and pieces.
American Underdog. But
yeah. I know. Sorry.
you have to go year by year. Could you just name the MVPs?
You just got to name them. You got to do is just name them. See how many.
Brian's going first.
No, you guys can name them together because we'll get to see how many you guys can work together and get them. All right.
Well, I mean, you definitely got to say Tom Brady. That's an easy one.
Bing, got it. Yep.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. Bing.
And Peyton Manning.
Yep. 3.
Lamar Jackson.
4.
Come on, Brian, step it up. But
no one on the I'm trying to think
Ben Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger did not win the MVP.
He
won a little time in prison.
It's probably no deep. Adrian Peterson.
Bing. Yep.
Matt Ryan.
Yep. 6. You guys got about 25 seconds. I'll give you a minute. You're still missing a lot from the early 2000s.
I know. I'm thinking about that. Ray Lewis, was he on there?
No, you got Manning. Manning won a few, so you got him on there. But you're missing some running backs from that era.
But God, there's a year he won a co-MVP with somebody.
And who do I keep wanting Gordon to turn into?
Where are all my Madden video games?
Who do I want Minshew to turn into?
Was Priest Holmes on there?
He was not on there. That's a good guess, though. There's 3 running backs on
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis is not on there. All right, time's up. Here's the ones you guys didn't name. You got Mahomes. When you say Mahomes, Brady, and and Manny, you pick up a lot of them. But you missed guys like Cam Newton. You missed Aaron Rodgers. You missed the running backs were LaDainian Tomlinson, Sean Alexander, and Marshall Faulk. Those were the ones that you guys missed on that. Marshall Faulk was the other one. So there were some good runs there. And then Steve McNair and Manning tied in 03.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Steve McNair.
And then Casey missed out on Rich Gannon. So Rich Gannon won in 2001 as well. He forgot.
He didn't win the whole thing, so it doesn't count.
All you remember is the interceptions. So that was fun. I thought.
Damn you, Barrett Robbins! Damn you, Barrett Robbins! Why'd you have to go AWOL? You should never left.
I couldn't believe I didn't think about LaDainian Tomlinson. That was that year they went 14-2.
Well, I kind of forgot that Sean Alexander won.
I'm shocked that Priest Holmes didn't have one. Didn't he have like over 30 touchdowns a year?
He did have quite that, but he did not do. That was not it. He did not win the MVP. He led the league in rushing by a ton.
Yeah.
And he led the league in touchdowns a few times, but he didn't win the MVP. That's how good LaDainian Tomlinson was back then.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you had remember how he was going against like Marshall Faulk
in the same division too.
Exactly. The Raiders and them had some high scoring games. So the Raiders, Brian, do you think they do honestly get 6.5 under? Like if you're putting $100 on it, you say they go under that, they get 6 wins or less?
Yeah, I'd probably say you guys are looking like a 5-win team right now.
5-win team.
Man, that would be such a drop off from the momentum they had at the end of last year if that happened.
You don't think they can beat like the division like 4 times, like just split? I mean, that's 4 wins right there.
I think what's going to hold your guys back is the quarterback position.
Brian, it's one of the worst. Yes, I agree. But maybe, like I keep saying, maybe Minshew figures it out. It's year 7. Didn't quite get all the time.
I think you're right about it's Derek Carr because it sounds like from everything I've heard that the rookie that they took I guess he's looked really good that they might think about maybe going with him over Carr or something.
Well, that would be
Spencer
interesting.
Rattler.
The Rattler snake.
Yeah.
I like it. Why would he go? He wasn't even that good in college. I thought at the end of the year.
Caleb Williams took over for Spencer Rattler.
Yes, he did.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
that happens.
I guess the talk that I've heard from everyone from the Saints, they say he just looks really good and he knows the offense, and I don't know.
Dennis Allen's still the coach there, right? Though.
Yeah.
Remind me, who's the coach again there?
Exactly.
A former Raiders coach.
And who's the quarterback for them? Who's the
Brian says Spencer Rattler.
Who's the quarterback for the Saints, though? Who's the quarterback for the Saints? We all know it's not Spencer. It's going to be Carr, right? It's going to be Carr. So what do those guys have in common? 8-9 or 9-8. That's what they have in common. That's what they're finishing. That's what happens. I've said it for years. That's why when I did that podcast about the Raiders, when I said that, one of the guys was like, well, you said you didn't like Carr, but now you want a quarterback. I was like, I agree, but I couldn't just watch 9-8 football anymore. So I was like over that. So that's got to be toast with. Brian, who else is overrated?
I would definitely say the Jets, just because I think the way the team's assembled, I don't know if
you don't like Rodgers that much, huh? This is a Rodgers attack.
I mean, it's not just that. It's just like the way they assembled that team. I just don't see them being a premier contender. I can't believe some people are taking them to win the Super Bowl. I mean, make the playoffs first.
Could you imagine Aaron Rodgers as your boss? Brian, I don't think you and Aaron would click. I think do you think there'd be some issues between you and Aaron?
Yeah, definitely.
I could see you. He's so direct and straight. He'd be like, "What?" Yeah.
If we had to go underrated teams, I would say the Buffalo Bills. I feel like people are kind of sleeping on them. I know they lost Stefan Diggs, but he was becoming kind of
on them, Brian. They have Josh Allen.
I'm just saying that he was becoming a headache for Josh Allen. I just think that they're still going to be a good team.
A lot of people did. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I just think an underrated team's the Raiders, actually. I really do. I think they're a sleeper. I mean, I really think they're going to make some big strides. I mean, at the end of the year,
I'm guessing.
Defensively and offensively, I think they'll get it together. I mean, they still got one of the best wide receivers in the league. They got Devontae Adams, 2 tight ends with Myers, and they got the guy from Georgia, the tight end.
It's the Raiders' hope with these guys. The Raiders' hope.
I mean, when I win that
bet, hope is all we have.
It is, man. I mean, you're saying the Bills, man. Like we've been to the Super
Bills
Bowl.
Are good.
Like we've been to the Super Bowl like before the Bills have. That was 2002. The Bills haven't been to the Super Bowl like since the 90s. Like,
you do have a good point there.
Definitely an overrated team's the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I feel like they made.
I feel like you're just picking on the NFC right now. Like
this is a personal off-season moves, and I can't believe you bring in Elliott. I mean, I don't know.
Sean Elliott.
No.
Sean. He does like the NFC. Are the Packers? I was kind of wondering at this time last year they didn't even give Love the extension, and now then they paid him all this money the next following year. And you know what I mean? So it's kind of funny how 1 year can play out in that regard. And he wasn't even good in the first half. So we'll see what happens, you guys. Still, we talked about it a little bit last week, but Purdy to me, what you guys do there, Ayuk, that whole situation with the Niners will be a big thing too. I know that's not under. And then you got the big man still sitting out, Brian. The big man still sitting out. Trent Williams.
I guess a hug is just a hug in San Francisco.
Yeah, what do you think of that hug? Was it just was he still it was the hug heard around the world? I felt like everybody was talking about it. Like that was.
I just think with Ayuk, it's more than just winning, or he wants to be the number one guy, but he wants to get paid like that. I just don't know if that's going to happen with the 49ers, realistically.
Well, according to Greg Papa, he said that he thinks Ayuk.
Papa,
he says that he thinks Ayuk will get signed. sooner than later. But Trent Williams might be the one that they sign at the very last minute, or possibly sit out. So that's what he was saying. So that's what they looks like. I mean, you guys can only pay so many people. So, well, like I said, at some point,
I personally think they're going to have to choose between Trent Williams or Ayuk, and I think they're going to go with Trent Williams, and I think Ayuk gets dealt. That's my personal opinion.
What they need Tyler's thumb. That's what they need.
That's what you need Tyler just to come in and just Mr. Pessimistic.
I love that, man. I cannot believe you thought that was Tyler's thumb when he sent that picture, dude. He must have had like the biggest thumb in the world. Like that's his big toe. It's just you're like, oh man, he broke his thumb, and I was like,
I've had a couple brain farts. I mean, I could spell Bob's name backwards. So.
That's
the B.O.B.
We're talking about Tyler. Said there's a group photo of him. I guess you would say more than stubbed his toe, but it looked like that. He basically said there's a picture of it. It was pretty nasty out there. Tyler camping this week, if anybody's wondering. That's what he said. Tyler is a camper. This is an interesting to be situation. He's got a bad toe. He's out there. Is he trying to carry wood? I mean, I can't see him axing the wood.
I'm not sure how you take that. Tyler's a camper. Is that a compliment or
I don't know. I think people would look at me.
It sounds like a weird word. Tyler's a camper.
No, I don't know if I see him.
Sounds like he's 5 years old. It sounds a little weird. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Okay, fine. Do you see him camping? I don't see Mr. McGurk as that camping type. I mean, most people would say that about me too, right? Like, I'm not out there pitching forks and tents up here on Cloverdale Mountain. I'm not going out to the KOA and like doing stuff like that.
Tyler's got the beard, though. I mean, he could at least sell it. So.
Yeah, he does. You think he's out there with like a plaid shirt, like Albert Borland or something like that?
Al Borland.
That would. Somebody said that when what's the guy? I think his name is JD Vance, the guy that's running with Trump. And I saw a picture on Twitter. It was like a picture of Al Borland just like this on the home improvement set, like it said, "Your new vice president." I thought that was hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Because they have the beard looking together. Tyler out there always falling down.
And I just want to say it's an end of an era with our fantasy football team. Darren's not going to be joining us. I just want to say thank you for the years that you've been able to do it, but I guess it sounds like it's time to move on. And it felt like through text messaging, Matt Lunsell was getting a little emotional about it.
I'm sorry, Matt. I had to. Jesse Powell, a local lender out here, wanted to take the spot. I felt like I can't give it up. Maybe I think next year I'll be ready to come back. Give me a little time to refresh. Let me take over Jesse Powell's team after he gets. Hey, I want the keeper, Brian. And do I need to write a speech? Do I need to write something official to this league? Do I need to sign out? Is there something more to it than that? No. So we got that.
No, I've already removed your team.
But you son of it. You insensitive jerk. You insensitive jerk.
You're the person that buries someone a minute after they're dead and the pulse is still going.
It's just like
sick son of a bitch.
All right. Cover up. That's fun. All right. Yeah. So overrated teams. Who's the most overrated player then when you think of like a player right away?
I would definitely say Dak Prescott, in my opinion.
Coming after those Cowboys again. Dude,
I don't know. It's just like you can never do anything in the playoffs.
Not Herbert. A lot of people are saying Big Herb's is a little overrated. Not the case. Not the big. I thought Rex
Herbert. I mean, if you're just going quarterbacks, honestly, because I would say probably Josh Allen.
I'm going any position that you think is overrated.
I'm just saying, like being in the playoffs, he had Stephon Diggs. They had the team. I don't know if it was McDermott. They just could never seem to get it going. I would almost go like I would say overrated. Like just I almost don't. I'm gonna go like coach. Jim Harbaugh.
Like, what a Jim?
Or not Jim overrated. John. Excuse me, his brother. I mean, he got the one against, like, the one Super Bowl. I feel like it's the Aaron Rodgers. Like, he got one Super Bowl. And, like,
Mike McCarthy.
I know it's hella hard in that league to win a Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, you have Lamar Jackson. You guys haven't even, like, they haven't even made it to the Super Bowl. Like,
well, Lamar does, to be fair. He's not always the easiest guy that comes to playoff time to coach because the tough defenses can
But
figure it out.
that was not the worst game plan you've ever seen. Like they made him throw it like 50 times or whatever it was. It was insane. They ran the ball like 4 times.
I feel like he's. I don't feel like he'll ever get fired there.
No, he won't. That's what I mean. He just built that equity where I mean he's pretty much untouchable. But
pretty much at this point.
Josh Allen to me though, and then John Harbaugh. I think the Ravens have so much talent, man. They always do. It just never seems to.
Man, that's an interesting one to me. Harbaugh that you say is the most. I never would have even thought about him. I'm not saying it's a bad call. I kind of surprised. I mean, at this point, is even Russell Wilson rated at this point? I think we've.
Not in Denver's eyes, God damn, man.
And then
So what coach would you say is on the hottest seat right now?
And how did you put some list out where it was like Mayo and like it was like one of the worst right? Isn't he the Patriots?
Yeah,
coach?
Gerard Mayo, but this is his first year.
Exactly.
Well, I'm saying he's taking over for a guy that won 6 championships. So
yeah, I know, but like him and Pierce thought you had him you didn't. You just retweeted it, so I don't want to put Brian on the hot seat.
Yeah, it wasn't my list personally.
You retweeted it. It's your list.
I saw Raiders and
you
Patriots.
support it.
I was like, I gotta tweet it to give Adam and Darren shit.
Oh man, always got to mess with us on that side of it.
And Antonio Pierce and on the hot seat, man, dude. 1 year in, I mean, like that's pretty cold.
I think the Texans could possibly be a little overrated. I know they have CJ Stroud, but I mean, usually it's not just like unless he's a superstar and he was good last year. He was very good, but like sometimes you see that, right? There's a little regression team wise, or you get some injuries, which they had last year. I don't know. I'm curious to see if what they do a little bit. I'm not saying they're necessarily overrated, but that's kind of the way I kind of look at it. And then the Jaguars, was it Sunshine?
Trevor Lawrence.
He got maybe a little overrated too. So those are going to be the guys I think of first when I think overrated with it. Brian, how fired up are you? You had the Hall of Fame game. It got canceled though. Were you disappointed in that?
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that fingernail polish didn't play. Caleb Williams. I mean,
were you shocked though?
It's your rookie season, and you got all this hype, and
he already got the quarterback job. Man. Did you already
at least play a series, man?
Brian, it's not the old NFL. These guys don't have the same grit and grind.
It's not like your first day at Home Depot. They didn't, you're allowed to take it off.
As long as I don't work at the airport club, man.
Man, airport club, bro.
How long did Brian work there?
Hey, no, I gotta bring this up. You're talking about the fingernails. What about the shortest shorts a 6'5" man can wear? Those were snug. That was not legal for the club. No one should have been able to see what you were wearing.
That was probably that. If I had to have a worse job at the airport club, would be on my list number one.
The shorts
work for that place again.
The shorts. Dude, he stood up, and I was like, "Is he naked?"
Brian, you were only there for like a few months, though, right?
Yeah.
Probably good decision, long term. And that's funny. It's funny when you have there's guys that I can't believe that was a big thing in the 70s, short shorts. I mean, what an interesting time of life.
I was wearing shorts.
You thought they were painted on?
Yeah, he stood up, and I was like, "Where's the rest of the outfit?" I thought he was Winnie the Pooh. I was like, he's just wearing a shirt today. I was
like, I know you guys aren't follow baseball all the time, but Aaron Judge has 41 home runs now. Like we're talking I looked it up, Brian, the top 30. So over the last, 30 seasons, the most RBIs ever was Manny Ramirez. At that point, Manny Ramirez had the record. Let me just get it up real quick. Where it was? I think it was 166 was his record. So that's pretty crazy that somebody like Manny Ramirez had that that high one. I'm thinking of Judge. I'm like, nobody's gonna ever break that now. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna break that. So that to me that was pretty crazy.
How many RBIs does Judge have right now?
He got 103.
Manny had 166. Jesus.
I mean it's crazy that many, huh?
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there with it. The judge. I just thought that was kind of interesting that he's that on fire. Basically, that was like that's what we're looking at.
How many's Shohei got now?
Home runs. I think he's up to 30 now, or at least 29.
No, he has more than that. He had 32. I thought the last time I saw.
Okay, no, I don't know exactly what he has. Let me look. That's what it is. Manny had 165 in 1999. Sammy Sosa got 160 in 2001. Sammy Sosa again, 1998, 158. Juan Gonzalez, 157 and 98. Damn. And then in 2007, Rodriguez got 156, and Albert Bell in 98 has 152. So that's where they're at, like stat-wise with those things. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like Manny Ramirez, the last 30 years, like all those years, how many of those were 98?
was that when he was on Cleveland or Boston?
I think he was on Boston.
Oh, you talking about Albert Bell or Manny?
No, I'm talking about Manny Ramirez.
Manny was on Boston in 99. Albert was on Cleveland at that time still.
I was thinking Albert Bell.
It was kind of funny because they had Big Papi, you know, he had to be the DH. And I would say, wouldn't you say Manny Ramirez was the worst outfielder of all time?
Yeah, I remember the triple cutoff. There's some plays out there where I would agree. It's a little. We had that one last week on my baseball show. Or a couple weeks ago. I did that one as one of my like look back things. I thought that.
Remember when he just walked through the wall of the Fenway and then they're still playing? He's like, oh, I guess I need to come back out on the field. Remember they have that door.
That's hilarious. I do.
Manny being Manny.
But man, he could really hit.
But I mean, how good was he like when he got traded to the Dodgers? I mean, he was the reason they made it to the World Series that one year.
And then they didn't make it to the World Series, but they made it to the NLCS. But you're right, he had quite the run there. And then he got caught with roids the next year. That's what happened with the Dodgers. So I don't know.
Way to ruin a good story, Jared.
Well, I still think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Hey, I say get all those guys in the Hall of Fame. So anyways, those were kind of my thoughts with it too. And then just real quick, if I say most forgotten, like who are the best forgotten third baseman you can think of? Like our kids won't know if any third baseman.
Probably Vinny Castilla.
That's a good call. I think Vinny. I never wanted to see. I don't think like
Scott Rowland.
He's in the Hall of Fame, so maybe he'll get remembered.
Do you think your kids will remember Eric Chavez?
Absolutely not. Except for I do have a picture of him right there on one of my. They'll probably be like, "Who's that guy?" He was. It's funny. Eric Chavez never made an All-Star team. He'd always have the worst starts to seasons, and then he would get hot like in June. By that time, the voting, it's already over and stuff, so he would never be able to do it.
And he was the guy that the A's actually gave an extension to, Eric Chavez. Of all those guys, Tejada, Giambi.
The Giambi one was ridiculous, though. Like they weren't willing to give him the no trade clause. It's like, what are you doing? Just if you stink, he's not going to want to be on your team. Like, what are we doing here? That was one of the dumbest things ever.
Do you guys have any third baseman that you can think of?
Yeah, Troy Gloss would be on that list for me. Remember, he'll be on there. Yeah. Jeff Cirillo, he'll be on. Brewer.
We're throwing Scott Brocious in here too.
Terry Pendleton.
Oh yeah.
Scott Atrocious, yes, that's a good call. Scott Atrocious is definitely on the list there. Well,
Carney Lansford.
Carney, that's a good call there. Yeah. What's a giant? Played with Bill Miller. He'd be one on that list.
Bill Miller was a good one. Really good one, actually, yeah.
He'd be on the list too for me as somebody. Yeah, Scott Rowland was one. Todd Frazier. Todd Frazier was for the Reds.
The Todd father?
Who was the guy that wore the glasses for the Reds back in the 80s? Who was that?
Oh, Chris Sabo.
Chris Sabo.
But he was a catcher, right?
No, he was third base. Yeah, so they'd have him too. I was trying to think of some other ones that were kind of random along the way. Gary Gaetti.
Gary Gaetti, yeah. Could not throw the first base in the video.
They disrespected him so much. I was like, what is he, like a 4-year-old?
Well, you had to do it was the Manny Ramirez. It was the Manny Ramirez outfield. You had to do the double cut to throw it to first. Throw it to the pitcher, then throw it to first.
That was insane. Was Edgardo Alfonso? I think he was second base.
That's another good one, I guess, would be Chris Bryant.
That's a good one. He's always not available anymore, but yes, that's a good one for him.
I mean, for a hot minute, he was, He was pretty damn good.
He won an MVP in 2016. So yeah, he was more than pretty
Nolan
good.
Arenado.
Who was the Mariners' third baseman during all those good years in the early 2000s? I was trying to remember who was their third baseman.
Oh man,
it wasn't like a superstar, was it?
God, what was his name? Some reason, all I can think is Jay Buhner, but I know he's right field.
Yeah, and that was a little. I was thinking even the era after that a little bit, like the one where they had Brett Boone, and then they had Dan Wilson as the catcher. That's the bull. Arthur
was it? What's his face was a hell of a good player. Was Mike Cameron for a minute.
He was good. Man, I can't remember who their third baseman was, but Mark McLemore was on their team too a little bit. And
same with John Olerud.
Olerud was on that team. He was the first baseman there, but I can't remember who.
Baby Brett Boone.
He was but Edgar never played third, so you know that.
Edgar was DH. Yeah,
God, what was his name? I know somebody, Paul Mulder. He played third base.
Big Paul. I saw him in that. He was a big part of that '94 All-Star game, very much. Giving his opinion on the strike a lot. So those are fun. I was just thought sometimes it's kind of fun to me just naming old names. What was it? I saw a funny meme where it's like, yeah, all my husband does is he can't talk to me for more than 5 minutes, but he gets to his buddies and they can talk about players and where they went to for like 10 hours. That's basically what it is sometimes with it. Yeah, those were some forgot ones along the way because I saw a question this week that was saying forgotten second baseman. And so it was fun I did that on the show this week. So I was bringing up some second basemen that were like forgotten along the way. So I was like, well, third base is kind of a position that a lot of people wouldn't think of it. We couldn't name everybody. There's like a lot, it's a lot that you can't, it's hard to like think of everybody on the spot like that. But it's kind of funny. The first names that come to your mind, yours was Vinny Castilla. It's kind of funny that he was the first one that came to your mind there. I guess Matt Williams now comes to my mind too.
Yeah, Matt.
That was
Colorado. They had a stacked team back then. I mean, they had Galarraga, Castilla, forget the other power hitter they had, and then Mike Hampton was their pitcher.
Yeah, no, he was very.
You got the richest deal ever for a pitcher, and then just like bombed out. But I mean,
yeah, and then don't forget Dante Bichette.
Yeah, that was the other one, Dante.
Yeah,
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak. Casey beat me to it. Mrs. Peak, we got her there. That's great. So what do you think, Brian? So we went through all those things. You thought we should do top 5 sports movies that we have, like discussion wise. Since it was your idea, top 5 sports movies, why don't you get it started with your top 5 sports movies of all time?
I gotta go. Any Given Sunday is my number one. It's just, it just seems like what true NFL would be behind the scenes,
Who okay, yeah, Terrell Owens made an appearance in that movie, right? Al Pacino as the coach, correct? Dennis Quaid, the quarterback, right? He was in there.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Foxx, quite the crew there. And then you had Lawrence Taylor in there.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, forgot about LL Cool J that one. All right, so
and then number 2's The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
No, Shane Falco, I thought.
But the actual actor is Keanu Reeves.
No, that's
and then number 3's Major League. And then number 4, Angels in the Outfield. And then number 5, The Sandlot.
Angels in the Outfield. I feel like that one, as I'm getting older, I saw it a ton, but I'm always like, there's parts of it where I'm like, man, like I can't.
It's one of the best acting, like the cast there is. Man,
Danny Glover was on point. I want that jacket. I always want the jacket.
What do you mean? There was names in the JP.
And they recently put it on Disney Plus. So if you want to watch it again,
it's not on the CW.
A lifetime subscription to CW.
Angels in the Outfield, though. You're right. They had Matthew McConaughey in that. Maggie from remember
Matthew McConaughey. Everybody forgets he was in that movie too.
And then same with Who's the Boss? Tony Danza.
Who's the boss?
The pitcher.
that guy yelling, "Go back to Cincinnati."
And then what's the guy from Looper? The guy from Looper. I'm talking about Lovin. Jordan Lovin or something like that. God, I'm blanking on the name, but yeah, no. I mean, they had a bunch of famous actors and actresses in that.
Casey, who you got for yours?
Number 5 would be Love and Basketball.
Good call.
Just a great one. Number 4, Air Bud. It's always a classic. It is. It's like the best movie. Man, boy with the dog. He has superpowers and he can score buckets. So probably a better shooter than most of us at that age. So.
Oh my gosh, that's all right. Air Bud. All right, go ahead. What else have you got?
Number 3, Rookie of the Year. She stacked. That milk done that body good. That's always a great one. Number 2, Sandlot. Just I don't know, man. It's just
classic.
Killing me, Smalls. You've never had a s'more before. You take the mallow, you take the cracker. Just so many classic lines.
Yeah.
And then number 1 for me, it's kind of like I don't know. I just love it. Is Undisputed. It sounds stupid, but with Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That was like not the second one. That one's pretty weak, but the first one's just I don't know. It's just a classic movie. But and then for me, for like just one that's I would do 6 is The Fan with Wesley Snipes again. Actually, with Robert De Niro. That's always one of it. It's always a good one.
I forgot about that one. That's a good. The Fan. That was like the Robert De Niro and the Giants.
Yeah.
I have Sandlot, Rudy. Gotta have Rudy on.
God, I'd leave out Rudy.
Big Rude's on there. I'm gonna throw a little hockey. Miracle. I'm a big Miracle fan. I like that one. Hana does not approve of that movie. I go USA all the way. She's not a fan, I guess. Apparently, that's a Miracle. Rocky on there as well. And then for me, Remember the Titans is on that list as well. So those are my top 5. According to some websites here that we have. So the top 5 that usually are what they have. We have Hoosiers number 1, Rocky 2, Field of Dreams, which was high on my list, number 3, Raging Bull 4, $1 Million Baby 5, Fighter 6, Cinderella Man 7. That's a good movie, but and then you have Bull Durham 8, Blindside 9, which Hana would approve of, and then The Natural, which for me, I don't know. That's the one movie where it's like a sports movie where I'm always. You would think I would like it as a baseball fan, but I'm always a little like it's a little too slow. Like I don't know. Like I'm just not my. It's
I prefer like He Got Game, Above the Rim.
Those are great movies too.
Air Bud 2, Air Bud 3.
With Tupac in it. A lot of people are using like the meme this week.
I'd stop you at the first one if you go to number 2 or 3. I'd throw you out of here.
Get me out of there. They had Seabiscuit. That one's a good taste. Glory Road.
Seabiscuit, that's
League of Their Own. League of Their Own.
Oh man, that's the best. Tyler, Michael Trejo. Shout out for Tyler.
We were talking Michael.
Get in the dugout after striking out. Tyler, are you crying? There's no crying in baseball.
Tyler's not here. He's not here to defend himself. I'm sure Tyler would see the story a little bit. That was funny talking to Ryan. Ryan's like, I'll be like, yeah, it's probably funny here when Tyler talks about stories, and you're like, that's not everything that like the story I read. Like Ryan's like, he's like, that's not how I remember some of those things going down. What did Ryan got here? He's chiming in with it, McGurk. Slapshot, good call there. Mighty Ducks. That's all. Mighty Ducks is that's a tough one. Young Blood. Is that with Young Blood? Is that the hockey one too? Or am I getting mistaken there? And then White Men Can't Jump, League of Their Own, Young Blood. You got me on that one, Ryan. That one I'm not as familiar with it. So those are good top 5 sports movies. Mighty Ducks, definitely. That one maybe we could put on.
Is that Rambo? I don't know if that's a sport. But
I was trying to think. Young Blood. It's got to be. I feel like Hana would pick that one movie where the guy is. It's one of the. Is it one of the Wayans brothers? I feel like there's a lot of them. I feel like it's one of them. And he plays basketball for the Washington Huskies. And he's out there.
It's the one where his brother's a ghost.
Yes. Hana would pick that one. I know for sure.
6 Man.
6 Man. Yeah, Hana would pick that one for sure. If she had that.
Joanna Man's a good one too.
Joanna Man, come on.
All right, now we're done. Now we're done. A lot of hand there. All right, we're going down that road. That's funny. So yeah, that with it. So yeah, Brian, that was good. Top 5. If we leave out anything else, we probably left out a lot, but those are some of the funny ones.
Blue Chips for sure.
Blue Chips, not a bad call.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway and Shaq in that one.
And Nick Nolte.
Brian, with the trade deadline this last week, what were like? We talked about the worst trades that the A's had in history. We left out kind of some interesting ones though. Like we left out like the 92 one with Canseco and Ruben Sierra. But that was a good Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze, minor league hockey movie. All right. I felt like it was a hockey movie. Though Patrick Swayze and Rob Lowe, that's a lot of gel there. We got to see that one. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Spinning clay.
Spinning clay. Yeah. There's a lot of like interesting trades we kind of talked about briefly with some of the old A's ones. The Cespedes one got a lot of kind of got remembered a lot, I guess, this week from A's fans I saw on social media, as you guys described last week with it being such a bad trade for the A's at the time, giving up their four-hitter. This is one from 1997. This is right before Mark McGwire got traded, but I think you might have appreciate the guy giving the little 30-second update here. This is when ESPN was at its best with this kind of stuff. Let's see.
The A's don't want to trade Mark McGwire. The season ticket holders, because of what he means to the team on and off the field. But he is a free agent come November, and the club is trapped within a $20 million payroll. So they're trying to decide if they should see what they can get for him and start to rebuild. Problem is, there aren't many teams capable of seriously bidding for McGwire. The Cardinals would love to try. But of the teams that want McGwire, only the Blue Jays with Shannon Stewart and the Marlins with Todd Dunwoody have the center fielder with which to begin the bidding. It is a 10-5 man. McGwire could veto a deal to Toronto, which, incidentally, is on the brink of unprecedented.
Oh my goodness! Like it's funny seeing Peter Gammon on there to giving the report, and then like I love how it's like giving the update on McGwire hitting bombs at that old stadium. It just like cracks me up. Like
made the stadium look small.
That was one of the worst trades ever. The giving up McGwire for 3 nobodies. But I love how they're like, I love how in that where he's like Shannon Stewart. I was like, yeah, I would have loved that Shannon Stewart for that. Would have been nice to have. That would have been nice to have Shannon Stewart over and everybody we got. And then Brian, we could have had Todd Dunwoody. We could have had him on the Marlins. That was funny there with the two. So I thought that was some good stuff this week.
Was that segment Diamond Notes?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I like remember
nice, good recall, Brian. Shit, I haven't heard that forever. Diamond Notes.
That's what I do, Casey. On for my the baseball pod, I do a segment called Diamond Notes, and that's purposely what I do. It's a little shout out to Peter. I mean, because everybody heard that to Peter Gammon. That's why
keep it PG.
Keep it PG for that reason. Brian, you were talking about overrated quarterbacks. I'm going to get one last highlight because me and Casey want to get like one positive thing going on for the Raiders here. We did talk about quarterbacks. Remember when the Raiders brought in Terrell Pryor? Remember they brought in our guy.
I was at the game.
You were at this game?
Yes.
And look, this was the 97-yard run here.
After the penalty, they spotted Aaron 7. They hand off its Pryor. Lot of real estate to the 30. Pryor is off and running.
Go.
20,
10.
We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year, fellas. I can feel it. Exactly how I felt.
That wasn't Tyler.
Was that the year when Big Ben got in that motorcycle accident?
No, he was playing in that one. I thought.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I know because
Brian Terrell Pryor. My goodness, is our starting quarterback. Can you believe?
Another Ohio State Buckeye, right?
Yeah. What was that draft we got him in called? It's like some sort of like
supplemental
draft. Is that what it was? Yeah, something kind of weird thing like that.
Remember we got Maurice Clarett too. We gave him a shot.
Maurice Clarett was on there. Yep, that was good. All right, we're at the end here, guys. Unless you got something more, but we can still go with our winners and losers of the week. Casey, I know you had an Olympic winner there.
Simone
got it.
Man, 10 gold medals, man. Congrats to her, man. Just phenomenal, dude. USA, man, to the core, man. Dude, that's phenomenal, bro. I mean, just incredible. She makes it look just effortless, and all the work she put in, man, I can't even imagine. And she's the oldest gymnast to win these gold medals too. I mean, not the oldest, but I mean, at this stage, it's pretty remarkable.
Well, most gymnasts don't. Yeah, she's
a
gymnast.
Absolutely, you get what I'm saying. But what we spoke about before was just Tyler's got to take back his recreational sport of Michael Phelps, because apparently I asked Aaron before the show how many gold medals does he have, and he came up with 23, and I said no, like just gold, not total. He goes, no, that's gold. So I was like, holy shit, maybe
he won in 2008.
Back.
In 2008 case, he won at the Beijing Olympics. He won 8 gold medals. and then he won 9 more golds over the next 2 Olympics. So, yeah, that's he's going to be the guy that our generation remembers the most. I think
Tyler may have to come back on here and apologize after saying it's a recreational sport.
Did you actually watch it though? Because it is. I mean,
yeah, no,
respect,
Simone,
right? Well, I'm just saying the sport in general. Respect.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's not necessarily my cup of tea.
It's insane, like the ability, agility.
Oh yeah, doing just backflips like they're nothing.
Well, and like the balance beam and doing flips on
yeah.
it is just insane, man. It's other just like, I mean, they're people try and do what she does, like, and it's just they can't do it. There's just one of a kind. Just that's my winner though.
What other have you guys been watching? Brian, do you watch any Olympics? I'm guessing no.
No, I mean I've been watching a little bit because one of my cousins he's a swimmer. He won a silver medal in the swimming relay team. So
what's his name?
Drew Keebler.
Drew Keebler. All right, I like Johnson. USA, the blood, the DNA. Maybe you got to the wrong sport. Maybe you should have got into swimming when you were younger. Use the 6'5" frame to your ability. You get some shit out of it. We gotta.
Feel like that flip turn might have been a little difficult.
Yeah, I could never do that.
I don't know how they do that.
I don't know. They make it look easy. All right, Brian, you got any winner of the week too?
Yeah, I have a winner of the week. I'm gonna go. It's gonna be wrestling, but Roman Reigns coming back because it just isn't the same unless the tribal chief is back. So
the tribal chief is back for Johnson. We know that.
The true tribal chief, Brian.
Yeah, exactly. the other tribal chief got speared.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you had, was it Gunther won? I heard Gunther. Right?
Yeah, Gunther won the World Heavyweight Championship. I think they're going to go on a long run with him.
Maybe he'll eventually get maybe a chance at the heavyweight shot, or the not the heavyweight, the main belt. I wonder if they'll play it out where he gets there with it.
I mean, it's like he's on Raw, so that's their main championship. The SmackDown is they have their own belt.
Gotcha. So there's 2 different belts for the thing. All right, that makes it confusing. No, I'm just kidding. It's just that one belt. Come on, what are we doing here, people? All right,
two MVPs, AL and NL. So
I guess so. I got winner of the week. I had the no hitter by Snell. We kind of talked about that. It was pretty good, pretty unreal performance there, and I was proudly went the whole way. No other pitcher helped him out, and had to come in and do the night. He got it there. How about loser of the week?
Man, it's a tough one. You can go ahead, Brian. Go for it, though.
I'm going to go political. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. If you vote for this woman, you should be checked in an insane asylum because she's.
We should get my dad. I should get my dad with you. I mean, you and my dad could have a conversation.
I mean, who tells people that they're going to do a 70 to 80% tax hike on your taxes? I mean,
Brian, this is a sports podcast. Nobody gives a crap about Kamala Harris. and then with it, I will say the same about the other guy. Right into. But with that said, everybody's gonna. You know what's gonna happen. People have their sides. They're gonna vote for what they're gonna vote for. And at the end of the day, Johnson, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it doesn't matter what you tell a certain party. I'm not gonna say what party they are, but they're just gonna vote for their guy no matter what. I don't know.
That's what happens, and then you have like this group of people at the end, and that's where like I've had to like stay out of it a little bit, politics. I don't even know how you can for me it gets too overwhelming at times where I'm just like I got it. I'm not trying to be like naive to it either, but there is a part for me where I'm just like I'm gonna, I mean, I respect the process, but it's like just all the talk. It's like it kind of just feels like all they do is bicker back and forth, and it's like that gets tiresome. Like that to me gets annoying. Yeah. Like it's just like instead it's like okay, of course this side's gonna say they suck, the other one's gonna say they suck. How do they suck? Like we're just basically breaking down what they do, all that part of it. So I hear you though with the Johnson. This is the platform you're allowed to speak a little bit on.
Yeah,
it,
man.
So I'm glad
you. You want me to say a sports loser of the week?
If you got one.
Yeah, I got one. I'm gonna go the owner of the A's just because this thing with the stadium has been a disaster. From what my dad said, he says nobody wants a new stadium in Las Vegas because they're gonna have to pay for it, and it seems like the A's are kind of stuck maybe are they stuck in Sacramento? You know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're the John Fisher's one of the worst. Well done, boys. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Appreciate you doing it. Good seeing you yesterday, man, as well. My loser of the week, though, I got to end it with Brian, is the White Sox. They are the White Sox. I mean, have you seen what they've been doing?
Watch.
Have you seen what they've been doing? Have you been?
Yeah. Were they 18?
I think they're on 19 now.
19
game losing streak.
Man, dude,
number
if you
20 today, they could get the 20 game losing streak today. Right now, their record stands at 27 and 86. So if they lose today, they'll be 60 games under.
Oh man, that's so rough.
Under 500.
So rough.
I mean, my poor guy Andrew Vaughn plays for the White Sox. I think he actually leads the team in home runs, but they're on the verge of history. The most losses ever is 120. The recent era, that's the most. The Mets did it. A couple teams have come close recently, got 119, but 120. That's looking like it's on the line. 20. They've had 3 separate 14-game losing streaks.
That's insane.
Now that's a loser of the week. That's
a loser of the year. Holy shit.
Man, can you believe I can't say lose today? 27 and 87 is the record they will wake up
That's hard to do, man. That's hard to do. 17
and 40 at home, 10 and 46 on the road. Yeah. And they have a minus 241 run differential, and again, on a 19-game losing streak. Now, the bullpen, I've watched a few. They've blew a few, but my goodness, one of the worst ones.
Blown a few.
Well, I mean, they had a couple games that could have won. They were bringing like guys. I was like, they're not going to win this game. They're bringing like Bresba or something. I'm like, this guy's he's not going to get the job done. So that's my loser of the week there as well. Case, did you do it already?
I haven't, and I was kind of reluctant to do it, but it's got to be said, man. And it's not against the team, but it's more of against like the whole like just not growing the league for the WNBA, not to have Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the Olympics is just stupid. I mean, they had 13,000 fans at their game in the first round, the lowest of the 6 games of the women's. And it's like, I know the competition, probably everyone thinks they're going to blow them out, but I think they just made it. They dropped the ball on this one. They
could have been a good like a marketing tool for them, huh?
Yeah, I just really think they dropped the ball on this one. It's unfortunate, but I think sometimes with
did they not want to Isaiah Thomas anybody? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you remember how he got left off?
Yeah.
Did they not want to like leave off a veteran player on that team or something just for the young superstars? It had to be what it is, right?
I just mean you have to sacrifice something. You know what I mean? It's somehow, some way, you got to get more eyeballs on you, and that's what you want. I mean, Japan, like, I mean, they were the least out of. They had drew 13,000, and the most was 27,000, and that's 14,000 off.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it would have been.
So fever games usually draw 17,000. So I felt bad for the woman, and I don't think it's their fault. It's just I think the committee, they let them down.
Well, like I said, I think some of the players would have been mad though if they let him on there. I think they would. I think some of them might have been a little frustrated. The new guy.
Yeah, but it's different when you're mad at first and then at the end. You know, like we all take everything in substance, but like when it first happens, but then in the longevity of things, you just kind of look back at it and go, "Oh, that was a good decision." So hate me now, love me later.
Hate me now, love you later. No, I got you on that one for sure. I hear you. All right, that was a good show, guys.
We got week 1 of the preseason started on Thursday, so everyone's playing this week.
Get the juices going, Johnson, this week. Get a little contact.
We're going after we're going after Nick's Tennessee Titans.
Whoa! Remember the Titans. We're coming forward right now. Brian, I want to get
Nick should have worn his Kevin Dyson jersey.
I know, or the Derek Jeter one. I was telling you.
You should remember that magnet thing he had on the car.
I wonder if Dad still has it on the refrigerator.
I probably burned it by now.
I burned it by now. That's funny. Hey, I wanted to get this play. Do you guys remember this play before I get out of here? This is still one of the best catches I've ever seen. You remember the name Otis Nixon?
Remember Andy Van Slyke?
Yeah. So there's one out in the bottom of the ninth. This catch to me is still, I just can't believe he made this catch.
Otis.
There's a drive. Deep right center field. Nixon goes as far as he can go.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible.
He caught the ball. I can't believe it. What a catch by
Man.
Nixon.
Climb that wall too, man. That kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kevin Pillar in Toronto.
That was one of the best catches I think I've ever seen, though. It's just like the way he gets up, his reaction there with it, and just the way he. I mean, that's me. It was
that 91?
It was actually 92, Brian. It was a July game, and I got so basically there was two out. There's one out in the bottom of the ninth, so it was even a more dramatic catch. They gave him a stadium. It's a pretty cool height. And then you got Skip Carey on the call. Doing hey man, that catch to me is just like it blows my mind.
Insane.
Somebody said I saw something that he walks around with pictures of that and he signs them and gives them to people.
I would too.
Yeah, he has those pictures. Like he keeps them with him, and then when people ask about that, he said because that's what he gets, I guess, asked about the most probably. And he will personally sign it and hand it to you. I see it.
That's pretty dope.
He just carries them around all the time. In case that should be you from the airport clip, like a little shot in freeze motion.
Game winner. Game winner.
Like, all right, there you go. Like, move on. That's funny.
Rather have the picture of Brian in shorts.
That wall is not a wall you would usually climb. That's what made that crazy. That wall was mad. I don't know how tall that wall was. That thing was insane. That's one of the best I've ever seen. So, all right, guys, good show today. As always, that was fun. We'll be back at it probably next Sunday here. Another shout out to everybody that came yesterday to the party. That was a lot of fun. It was really good seeing everybody. Appreciate the videos. That was funny seeing some of the videos that people love. Brian, we even had your video on the big board yesterday as well. Get that beautiful bug out.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Like I said, I could finally play the clip. Next week I'll have it for you. Can't do it yet because I'm not a man yet. Not 40 quite yet. But that's why I named the title. I'm a man, I'm 40. But you remember that Oklahoma State coach, right, Brian? So that's one of my favorite lines ever. So
silver mullet.
Should I go to the silver mullet? Should I bring it back? Should I bring back the mullet? For goodness sakes. Brian, did your parents ever give you a mullet? I could see that, Johnson.
Yeah, when I was younger, I hated it, man. Some of my haircuts my mom had for me, I was like, "Come on, man,
Johnson with the mullet.
Come on, man."
You should just grow back the bottom. Just leave it shaved on top. Just grow the bottom.
You should do the Rey Mysterio, or not Rey Mysterio. What's the
Dominic?
Cut around the ears.
Dirty Dom.
I remember when I started working, I was just like, I remember telling my mom, I was like, I'm gonna start getting my own haircuts. You're not calling the shots.
Brian said I'm a man at 40 when he was really 10. I'm like, I'm 10, damn it.
I don't want bangs anymore, Mom. I don't. Yeah, I hear you. Did your mom actually cut your hair then? Herself?
No, but she just took me and she was like very invested on how it was supposed to look, and I'm more like I don't know if you ever watched Jersey Shore, but Vinny on there was very particular about his haircuts, and I was a lot like Vinny.
I can see you walking there at 10 years old with the Bryant Reeves jersey, getting the haircut coming out.
Oh, Brian!
These guys you say I look like Beans or Reeves, and it's like I don't look anything like them. They're the most ugliest looking sons of bitches on
Beans is a nice looking man. Don't you dare insult that young man. Dare you insult Beans? Beans is a man.
It's like you picked him up. It's like you picked him out of a trailer park. And you put him in
Oh, Brian, you're on fire right now. That's great, Bean. We should do that favorite. You actually had that?
Yeah, I mean that's probably my loser of the week. Is that
Beans?
all these tourists came to Laguna Beach and like they invaded it. And it was like the worst day to take the one. So I'm trying to get on the freeway, and I have these guys from Wisconsin, and they're not letting me on the freeway, and I kind of just merge on anyways. And they're just acting like buffoons, like flipping me off, honking. And I almost felt like telling them, like, time to go back to cheesehead country, motherfucker.
Hey, watch the cussing. Watch the cussing. I hear you on that. Brian, you and your Wisconsin stories. You got to get there at that. At least I didn't throw a bottle through the. That's like, at least I didn't throw a bottle.
But I mean, I guess there was a lady that lives on the beach, and she was like putting like a line in the sand, going, "You can't come in over this. My house is over here." And they were just invading the beach like crazy. It was insane.
Well, I'm guessing if you live in Laguna Beach, that's also going to be part of it. Well, as you're living there right there. So, all right, good show. We got a couple. Brian got us one more MFer in there before we got out, so that was good. We got that. So you got that in there. Appreciate
if
you guys.
Call me Brian Reeves again. You're gonna get F5.
Brian, you're too set. It's a compliment. It's a compliment. You got to think of it as a compliment.
It's an NBA player.
It's a you got to think of it as a compliment. It's not more
I guess it's better than who was the guy that Warriors took that was a bust.
They're not saying you look like what's that? Whoa, yeah, Todd Fuller. Yeah, they're not saying you I mean, come on, Bright Reeves was all rookie. You got to take that as a compliment. Beans, that was a good. Well, when you're white and you're a 6'4" and you got like you're bigger than you're gonna fit more regions than like our
Yeah, I know. I've been called Frankenstein so many times.
You are not Frankenstein. That is messed up. Whoever did that, that's messed up. It's hurting my. You attack Brian. You attack me. That's what I got punched in the face for you that one time. I say, hey, over there. So, all right, good show, guys. That was fun. Tyler, hopefully we'll get him back on next week and he'll join us. Brian will be 1 week in to heaven training camp here. So into preseason football.
Training camp is over and we're preseason and practices for preseason.
We're back at it. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good day, mother.
Peace.